G'day legends, it's the Sunken Dutchman here. Well, over there.
And then we've got Poochu and the Mayor. Hey, hey! In these, what's our venture for today?
We're heading down to go get some crayfish and then 100% certainty of kingfish.
I like that, 100% certainty. I'll take it. So we'll see you guys out there on the water. We started off the day chasing crayfish. Now, I left these clips in to show you that chasing crayfish ain't easy. Both Duncan and Jake are pretty experienced when it comes to catching crayfish. But as you can see in this instance, although Dunk found one pretty quick, when he went down for the grab, he wasn't actually able to fit the cray through the opening that he had reached through. So, unfortunately, he had to let the cray go and bail on this attempt. Not too long after that, I managed to find my own crayfish. On this occasion, when I had a good look at the crayfish, I noticed that it was just way undersized. So, unfortunately, this one was not coming home for dinner. It wasn't too long before Jake also found a cray. Now this was a really big bull sitting in a long crack, and when Jake duck dove down to do a bit of an exploratory dive, he shone the torch on the cray and spooked it a bit, and it kicked right back to the end of the cave. Jake thought that he could bait the cray out, but in this instance the cray just wasn't interested, and this was another one that we just had to let go and move on. I managed to find another cray, and there was a few entrances to this cave, so I called Dunks and Jake over to help me by scaring the cray at the back entrances to basically push it forward to me, and I would hopefully have a grab. As you saw, it was not my lucky day, and this one went straight through to the keeper.
He fucking shot out the hole sky high. I got no idea where he went.
As you saw, we weren't off to a flying start. It was 4 failed attempts, but the trick to crayfish is persistence, and if you've got good dive buddies, their help is worth their weight in gold. It wasn't too long before the boys managed to find another cray, and again they chose to scare this one out of one side of the crack, while the other one waited in the slips so the cray would do a bolt and then get caught on the other opening. By this stage, we'd managed a few crays as a couple had been caught off camera. I'd come across this cray here, and I thought that best option for me was to try and bait him out as I hadn't spooked him yet. As you can see, this guy was really interested in the food, but if you keep your eye on his antenna, you can see that it touches my right glove. Now, if a cray's antenna is touching your glove and you make a move with that hand, they'll bolt back very quick. So your best option is to wait till the antenna leaves your hand before you make a lunge, or in this instance, go for another dive if they're really interested in a bit of bait or a bit of food. Knowing that this cray was really interested in food, I did another dive on him, and this time I just positioned my right hand, which I was going to make the lunge with, in a better position so he wouldn't brush his antenna past my glove before I made a lunge. By this stage, we'd actually managed to bag out, so we had 6 crays between the 3 of us, which was an absolute cracker way to start the morning, particularly given that we'd had such a slow start and kept missing those initial crays. We made a decision to try our luck at some kingfish, given that the water was still a little bit warm, around that 17-18 degrees. Definitely warm enough for a late season kingfish. So we made our way out to the islands and dove a few spots. The first spot that we dove was a reef around that 15 metre mark, but the water was pretty dirty. Now the camera does a lot in terms of cleaning the footage up, but yeah, it was pretty dirty, but we did see a fair bit of snook floating about, so it was worth a little bit of time to sort of explore and see if any kingies would come in. I got a little bit excited here because I noticed that the snook darted off in one direction and I thought a kingy might be coming in or some sort of predatory fish, but unfortunately it was my good mate Duncan coming in and spooking my fish. So we just gave each other a customary underwater hello. After having no luck at that first spot, we decided to move, and we came across quite a few bust-ups, large schools of salmon that were milling about on the surface.
They're just here, Jake. Like, oh really? Like worth slogging a couple? Just on your left.
The boys having no luck on the salmon, we decided to move spots again and find another patch of reef. At this last spot, there was a lot more fish life. Jake had actually managed to plug 2 kingies at this last spot, and I'd managed a little bonito, which was a pleasant surprise as I'd never even seen them in Vic. But when I did a duck dive down just to explore a massive school of snook, I actually noticed a lone kingy just milling about at the bottom of the snook. So I took my opportunity and had a crack. When I slow this clip down, you can see that it was a really good shot. I actually managed to put a lot of hurt on the fish and spined it on this occasion. Now, although I'd spine this fish, I'm always conscious of line management with bigger pelagics, so I always unclip my gun from my line tether just to make life a bit easier for myself. As soon as I've got my hands in the gills with any fish, I straight away brain and bleed. Again, just preserves the eating quality of the meat. once I've got the fish under control and all the rigging back in order, I reclip my gun back to my line tether just so I don't lose it in any excited moment.
Hey, what did you call at the start of the day?
Heading down to go get some crayfish and then 100% certainty of kingfish.
Guaranteed kingies. Guaranteed come for bag out crayfish and a kingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would it be anything different?
Why would it be anything different?
Except Duncan didn't get any.
I don't even need any. I don't fucking need any. I don't fucking need any.
That is a healthy esky. Go on then.
But this is only half of it.
This is only half of it. Oh, Jesus.
Could be worse looking eskies.
I reckon my kingfish is bigger than yours, Jake.
Yeah, it actually was.
It actually was. So can I get that on camera?
It's not the first time. Where'd you shoot yours? Good.
Good shot. Hells yeah! This will be a day that I will remember for a long time. We made the best of some pretty average conditions, and on this occasion came home with the goods. So with that said, guys, I hope you get out there, get wet, and have an adventure of your own. Cheers.